Hodl the Bitcoin.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for being here. My name is Ben from the BTC Sessions, and this is your daily session. I'm going to start doing this regularly. I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of some of the topics of the day, some of what's in the news. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to dive right in. So let's see here. I've got a few interesting stories here. Up first, the other day we had a couple Bitcoin addresses and individuals actually end up sanctioned by the Treasury in the US. So essentially they said that these Bitcoin addresses have been associated with a scam, and we're saying that it is illegal to transact with them, to send Bitcoin to or receive from these addresses. Well, one of the people associated with those addresses is coming out and saying that he's innocent and that he actually runs an exchange service for other people. So he's more or less saying here that he met the individuals and he was trading Bitcoin for them. He did KYC. He stayed within the laws of the country of Iran where he lives, and did nothing wrong, and he had no reason to suspect these individuals of fraud. So it's very interesting because of the nature of Bitcoin addresses and how they can just be spun up at any point. There was also no effort from the Treasury to reach out internationally and get clarification from these individuals. They just pretty much slapped a label on and said, hey, you're blacklisted. There is a little Q&A here on this CoinDesk article with the individual about kind of what his procedures were, how he came to know the individuals, and more or less it sounds like he was just running a business, and it can be difficult to track these kinds of things. There are coin analytics companies, but there are also a lot of methods in which people can keep their coins anonymous, and there's more coming up. Things like Samurai Wallet, Wasabi Wallet. In this case, those things were not used. So that's very interesting. And the individual running the exchange is saying, why would I publicly have all my information out there if I knew I had been doing something wrong? His exchange was easy to go in and see who is running it. His name, his contact information, everything about him was out in the open, and he's saying, I'll hand over any records I have, but it's kind of ridiculous that I've been accused of these crimes and nobody even talked to me in the first place. So we're gonna move on from there. This story I'm not going to spend much time on. Fidelity Bitmain have invested $27 million into a crypto trading platform called ErisX. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Anyways, it looks like there's a number of entities: Bitmain, Consensus, Fidelity, Nasdaq, Monex Group. They're creating a digital asset exchange, and there's going to be a derivatives market. I'm not super interested in this, to tell you the truth. There's so many exchanges out there. I mean, it's interesting to see large institutions like Fidelity get in there, but we've seen instances of this in the past, so I feel like this is really a non-story. Maybe it was a slow news day. Let's move on. Also, confirmed Nasdaq's Bitcoin futures will launch in the first half of 2019. So some people were speculating with the drop in price, with worries about mining and the overall bear market, that things like this would be delayed. Well, to quote here, we've put a hell of a lot of money and energy into delivering the ability to do this, and we've been all over it for a long time, way before the market went into turmoil, and that will not affect the timing of this in any way. No, period. We're doing this no matter what. So it looks like they're moving ahead. The CFTC doesn't have to sign off on some stuff. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see further delays here, regardless of that quote above. But hey, it looks like they are going balls to the walls to get this done. So I guess we'll see. Let's move on here. Bitcoin faces the second largest difficulty drop in history after the latest adjustment. So for those of you unfamiliar with Bitcoin mining, the more people that join in mining the network and trying to confirm transactions and competing for new Bitcoin, the more difficult it becomes to mine Bitcoin. So if you bought a mining rig years ago and you were trying to mine Bitcoin, it would have been very, very easy in the early days. You could have mined with a laptop even and made a ton of Bitcoin that way. But as more and more people jump on, it is more competitive for the exact same reward. So with the massive spike in price in 2017, we saw a ton of people dive into the mining realm, I guess the mining industry now. And it looks like a lot of them are starting to drop off because they just weren't super efficient. And only the most efficient miners will stay mining. But the beauty of it is that difficulty of mining does not stay that high. If there is a drop in the number of miners and the amount of computing power mining on the Bitcoin network, then after a certain number of blocks, 2016 blocks, the difficulty of mining Bitcoin will actually drop. And that's what we've just seen. Now, there was a lot of FUD around this saying that, oh, we're going to go into a death spiral because it's going to be not cost efficient to mine Bitcoin, and then miners are going to drop off, and then it's going to keep dropping in price and more miners drop off. Well, the thing is, Bitcoin is self-adjusting. So we're seeing, what was the percentage there? It was a 15% drop as of December 3rd in the difficulty of mining Bitcoin. So the miners that didn't drop off, the ones that were able to stick it out, maybe they already had sunk costs, they'd already paid for their equipment, paid for their electricity in advance, those guys are now enjoying an easier time mining Bitcoin, making it more profitable than it was just a couple days ago. Not only that, but you have to consider the fact that many miners are mining in such a way where they're dealing with excess power. So here in my home province of Alberta, you have companies that are dealing with natural gas. And when they have an excess of natural gas, they can't just what's called flare it. They can't flare it, basically burn off the excess energy, because it pollutes the environment. And there's regulations around that. So they need to responsibly store and ship it off site. And that incurs a cost. Well, those people have now been privy to mining for some time now. And instead of the cost of disposing of the excess natural gas, they are funneling that into Bitcoin miners and making a profit off that. So they're actually cutting their costs by mining Bitcoin. So they don't need Bitcoin to be at this threshold of $3,800 because the power they're getting is free. In fact, the power that they're getting was originally costing them money. So they're at a net positive regardless of the price of Bitcoin. So there will be miners regardless of these adjustments. It's really funny seeing these death spiral topics come up again, because we saw it all before in 2014, 2015 as difficulty dropped. In fact, they make reference to other mining difficulty drops in October of 2011 as well. There was a 13% drop followed by an 18% drop. So again, this isn't the first time we've seen this. I'm sure we'll see it again in the future. It's FUD. It's self-adjusting. So I'm moving on from this. Now, I found this very interesting for a couple reasons, but Japan is looking to force crypto exchanges to tell on suspected tax evaders. So that would mean that essentially if you're trading on a cryptocurrency platform and you've made a ton of money and you haven't reported it, then you would be required by law to tell the Japanese government that that your traders have been evading taxes. Now, there are some caveats to this. They are saying that it would only allow them to demand information on those believed to have made at least 10 million yen. I'm not sure what the conversion on that is, from trading cryptocurrencies. Additionally, the information will only be demanded if there's evidence that a particular individual has failed to disclose at least 50% of that income. So there are caveats there, but you can see that governments are starting to look at cracking down at people evading taxes. Now, the other thing about this that I find very interesting is I'm in a group for the Wasabi wallet, which is a privacy coin mixing wallet that you can get on your desktop. And somebody is at an event in Europe, and they watched a presentation that basically said that in Europe they're looking at trying to demand that every cryptocurrency exchange, regardless of fiat or not, demand full KYC from their users by the year 2020. And beyond that, they're looking at trying to impose that on non-custodial wallets. So wallets where you actually hold your own private keys. How could they do this? Well, it would be difficult to shut down every wallet like that, but they could crack down on app stores. So the iOS app store, the Android app store, they could crack down on those larger entities and say, hey, you're not allowed to list wallets unless they have KYC. And that's very worrying, and that's why I think that we need full privacy, or we need privacy measures on the base layer of Bitcoin like yesterday. So I'm looking forward to things like Schnorr signatures. I'm looking forward to things like bulletproofs and Dandelion, which are all implementations that are being worked on. I'm also looking forward to more further rollout of the Lightning Network, because if people are using Lightning Network, that also greatly improves privacy. So that's something I think is going to be the next battleground for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. It used to be scaling. Well, we've got Lightning Network and it's growing. I think honestly, privacy is going to be the major worry that you see over the next few years. Now, I've got another thing here. This is just kind of a personal fun thing because the story is garbage and nobody gives a shit anyways. But BitConnect pumper Trevon James claims that Bitcoin price is going to zero. And he tweeted about this as well. Again, this is such a non-story, but I thought it was hilarious. So he tweeted this out and I replied to him. He said, 10 years from now, it won't matter if you bought Bitcoin at $4,000 or $3,000 because it will be worth zero. To which I replied, dude, I don't know if you're the best judge of what people should or shouldn't do with their money. And he came back at me with a gay joke because apparently it's like 1995. He said, and I don't know if you're in crypto because of all the men or the tech. So, okay. I don't know. There's some hilarious responses to that. People weren't super stoked. Also, the grammar corrections. So anyways, I don't know. Trevon's still a thing, apparently. Anyways, I do see, Ken Bozak is in the chat, and he just sent over a super chat for $4.20, a very specific amount. Thank you, buddy. I'm so glad to see you here. Everybody else in the chat, wow, there's a bunch of people in here. I see Sean from Just Learn Crypto. By the way, I'm going to give Sean a shout out right now. There is an event that he's organizing with Ken Bozak, and it's going to be in Ottawa. It's called Satoshi's Ball. It's on December 15th. If you're in the area, you should check it out. It's going to be a blast. Please go over, check out Just Learn Crypto, search the Satoshi's Ball, and I'll stick a link in the video down below for you guys to check that out after I'm done streaming here. Everybody else in the chat, awesome, good to see you out. And I'm going to say one more thing here. If you can, go ahead and check out my website. I wear scarves on it. Actually, I just launched this website not too long ago, but it's basically a way for you to contact me directly if you want to book a session with me, if you have questions about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin specific is kind of where my specialty lies, but about securing your crypto, about using wallets, about general concepts, I'm always here. So you can go to the website and you can shoot me a message, and I will be sure to get back to you. I've also got a bunch of other stuff on there, things that I recommend. I don't recommend a lot of products, but I did make some stupid t-shirts, and I really like Ledger, Trezor, and the Cool Wallet. So those links are all on there as well. But guys, I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be doing this regularly. I see a lot of crypto YouTubers starting to drop off the map, but I think this is the time to start upping my game because less competition. So I'm going to try my very best to be here Monday through Friday at this time every day of the week. So I will be seeing a lot more of you guys. So again, thank you guys for watching, and this has been your daily session.